Hi students, good morning. So welcome back to this session of gravitation. So my name is Fanindra and I am lecturer in physics working in Vignan institutions. Let us continue our topic discussion regarding the topic gravitation. Okay students, so the next one is gravitational potential. So what is meant by gravitational potential? Gravitational potential is nothing but amount of work done in bringing a unit mass from infinite distance to a point in the gravitational field is called gravitational potential. Suppose here there is a mass m on which so this is the gravitational field of this due to this mass m. From I need to transfer a mass from infinite distance to this gravitational field. The work done in bringing this unit mass from r is equal to let r is equal to infinity to here r is equal to at a distance of r. What is the work done in bringing that unit mass from infinite distance to that particular point is said to be gravitational potential. Here, work if we move a mass from one point to another point, work is said to be done. Work is said to be done if we move the point mass opposite to the gravitational field, then work is done so that the potential energy increases. Or if the point mass is moved due to the gravitational force, then the potential energy will be decreasing. Okay, so here gravitational potential is nothing but the amount of work done in bringing a unit mass from infinity to a point in the gravitational field is nothing but the gravitational potential. So now let us calculate the gravitational potential due to a point mass. So let us consider a point mass of mass capital M. Now a unit mass is to be taken from a distance r is equal to infinity to a point r, or this is the point P, let it the distance be smaller. Now we need to find the potential at a point P due to this point mass. What is meant by gravitational potential? It is nothing but work done in bringing a unit mass from infinite distance to this point. Right. So to calculate the work done is nothing but force into displacement. So force, if we want to calculate the force formula is F is equal to G into capital M, as it is a unit mass, so 1 by R square. So F is equal to G capital M by R square. So to move a small distance of dr, the work done is dw. So dw is equal to force into displacement dr. Or if you need to find the total work done, so that is equal to integral dw, that is equal to integral force F into dr, where r is from infinity to r. So w is equal to integral infinity to r, F is G capital M by R square into dr. So this work done, W is equal to, as Gm is constant, integral of r to infinity 1 by r square dr. Integral of 1 by r square is nothing but minus 1 by r. So W is equal to G capital M minus 1 by r to infinity. So this work done, W is equal to G capital M into, so if we substitute here minus 1 by infinity, minus into minus plus 1 by r, so 1 by infinity is 0, therefore work done is equal to Gm by r. This work done is stored as gravitational potential. So this work done, W is equal to Gm by r. As this work is done by bringing a unit mass from infinity to r, the gravitational potential will be V is equal to minus G capital M by R. Minus G capital M by R will be the potential due to a point mass. Here the gravitational potential is a scalar quantity, right? So it is a scalar quantity whose SI units are joules per kg and CGS units are erg per gram, and the dimensional formula is m power 0 L square t power minus 2. So m power 0 L square t power minus 2 is the dimensional formula of the gravitational potential. So this is the regarding the gravitational potential. Now let us see the potential due to a solid sphere and the spherical shell. What happens to the gravitational potential at the outside the solid sphere, at the surface of the solid sphere, and inside the solid sphere. Similarly for a spherical shell and for a ring and a circular disc. So the first one is a relation between gravitational field and potential. We know that the gravitational field intensity or the strength of the gravitational field is denoted by E bar. So gravitational field is denoted by E, and the gravitational potential is denoted by V. The relation between this gravitational field intensity or the strength of the gravitational field and the gravitational potential is given by E is equal to minus dV by dr. E is equal to minus dV by dr. Here E is a vector quantity. E is nothing but gravitational field or intensity of the gravitational field strength is a vector quantity, and R is nothing but the position vector of the object with respect to that mass. So as E is a vector quantity, if we want to write E bar is equal to, in a three-dimensional or in a space, we can write it as minus dV by dx I cap plus dV by dy j cap plus dV by dz k cap. Right. So in terms of a vector, we can write or we can solve the gravitational field strength in terms of potential in this manner. So from here, E is equal to dV by dt. If you want to calculate the potential V, which is nothing but integral dV, which is equal to minus integral E bar dot dr bar. E bar dot dr bar. So this is the relation between gravitational potential and the strength of the gravitational field intensity. So by using the relation between gravitational potential and the strength of the gravitational field, we can calculate the potential due to a solid sphere, uniform solid sphere. For that, let us consider a uniform solid sphere like this. Let it be center of mass with a mass capital M is the mass of the solid sphere, and let R is the radius of the solid sphere. Now if consider, we need to calculate the potential at a point P, which is located at a distance of, let it be R, from the center of the uniform solid sphere. So if R is greater than, so let us see the first case, that is if R is greater than the radius of the sphere, that is the point P is outside outside the solid sphere. Then we know that the potential, gravitational potential formula V is equal to minus G capital M by R. By substituting the value of R, we can calculate the gravitational potential. Similarly, if the small r is equal to capital R, which means the point P lies on the surface of the solid sphere, that is on the surface of solid sphere. So on this surface, then by simply replacing the small r with capital R, we can obtain the potential as V is equal to minus Gm by capital R. Okay, minus Gm by capital R. In this manner, we can calculate the gravitational potential at a point outside the solid sphere and on the surface of the solid sphere. Now, what happens if R is, that is, let us see a third case. If this R is less than the radius of the solid sphere, for R is less than the radius of the solid sphere, then that is the point is inside the solid sphere. We need to see the case if this point P is inside the solid sphere. So to calculate the value of the potential inside this uniform solid sphere, we will interrelate with the concept of relation between gravitational potential and strength of the gravitational field. So we know that to calculate the potential at inside the solid sphere, Vi is equal to, which is nothing but minus integral infinity to R E bar dot dr bar, right? So E bar is the strength of the gravitational field. So V is the potential, gravitational potential, which is nothing but the work done in bringing a unit mass from infinite distance to particular point, say up to here. So here we need to calculate from infinity to R, capital R, that is the until the surface, after that inside. So we can write this equation as V inside the solid sphere Vi is equal to minus integral infinity to R E outside, so that is strength of the gravitational field outside the solid sphere into dr plus integral R to small r intensity of the gravitational field inside the solid sphere into dr bar, right? In this way, we can calculate the potential due to the uniform solid sphere at a point inside the solid sphere, okay, which can be simplified as, that is equal to minus integral infinity to R E outside the solid sphere, that is strength of the gravitational field outside the solid sphere is nothing but G capital M by R square into dr plus integral R to small r inside the solid sphere, which is nothing but G capital M small r by R cube, as we have discussed in our last session of the video, into dr, which is equal to minus Gm is constant, so taking Gm constant outside, integral of 1 by R square is nothing but minus 1 by R from infinity to R, plus here also Gm by R cube is constant, so integral of R dr is nothing but R square by 2 from capital R to small r, right? That is equal to minus G capital M into minus 1 by R plus 1 by infinity is nothing but 0 plus gm by r cube into here r square by 2 minus capital R square by 2. Okay, which can be rewritten as minus, so here it can be written as gm into r square by r cube, which can be equal to 1 by r plus gm by r cube into r square minus capital R square by 2, right? So from which minus, if you take gm by r cube as common, minus 2r square plus r square minus r square divided by 2. So potential inside the solid sphere is nothing but minus gm by 2r cube into r square minus 3r square is the potential inside the solid sphere. So inside this solid sphere, potential is equal to Vi is equal to minus gm by 2r cube into r square minus 3r square. So let us see what is the gravitational potential at the center of the solid sphere. So at a center of solid sphere, at the center of the solid sphere, r is nothing but 0. Small r is equal to 0, right? Then the potential Vi is equal to, or Vi at the center is equal to minus G capital M by 2r cube into minus 3r square. So r times, so Vi is equal to G 3gm by 2r. At the center of the solid sphere, gravitational potential is nothing but 3gm by 2r. So next one is potential due to a uniform thin spherical shell. So or halo sphere. So here we consider an uniform halo sphere. Let it be like this. Halo sphere whose mass is capital M and radius is r. Okay, now we need to calculate the potential at this point B, which is at a distance r from the center of mass of the halo sphere. So let us see the first one, that is if this r is greater than capital R. That means the point P is outside the halo sphere. Outside the halo sphere. If it is outside the halo sphere, potential V is nothing but minus G capital M by small r. Similarly, if this R is equal to capital R, that is on the surface, then V is equal to minus G capital M by capital R. Similarly, the third one, for the third one, if R is less than the capital R, that is if the point lies inside the gravitational field or inside the spherical shell or the halo cylinder, then the from the relation of strength of the gravitational field and the potential, we know that E is equal to minus dV by dt dr, or V is equal to minus integral E bar dot dr bar, right? So as we follow the same procedure that we followed earlier by the integrating with from outside to inside, then we can get that inside the halo cylinder or halo sphere, the potential is constant, that is V is equal to minus G capital M by R. If we follow the same exact procedure that we followed in our earlier step in case of uniform solid cylinder. If you follow the same procedure, then we can get as V is equal to minus Gm by R. Okay. Okay, students. So the next one is gravitational potential energy of a system. So whenever two or more bodies are intact due to the gravitational force, so there is some energy or there is some work done to intact the two bodies due to the gravitational force. This work done is stored as gravitational potential energy. So gravitational potential energy is the total work done against the conservative forces in assembling the bodies together in their respective places. Okay, let us see. The gravitational potential energy is nothing but the work done against the conservative forces in assembling the bodies together in their respective positions or places. Okay, let us see this in detail. Okay, students, so the next one is gravitational potential energy of a system. That is a system of two masses. So here the gravitational potential energy of the system of two masses is nothing but the potential energy required or the work done to bringing the two masses from infinite positions to that particular places. Okay, so let us see how it happens. So let us consider a space in which as there is a space, there is no gravitational field acting, as there is no masses, only it is empty space. So let us bring a mass m1 to this position. Let us bring a mass m1 to this position. So work done in bringing this mass from infinite distance to this position is 0, because as there is no gravitational field in this space, so work done is 0. Okay. Now by presenting this mass here, there is a gravitational field around this mass. Okay. Now bringing another mass, so from infinite position to a particular position, now I need to bring a mass to here. So let it be the another system of mass m2. So I need to bring this mass to a position which is at a distance of r. So from infinite position to, say, from this point, we need to take this mass from infinite distance to this particular position. So now I need to calculate what is the force acting on this particle at infinite position and what is the work done in bringing this mass from infinite position to this particular position. This is nothing but the gravitational potential energy. Okay, so if the particle is at say at a intermediate position which is at a distance of x, which is at a distance of x from the mass m1, then the force acting at that position is force acting on that particle of mass m2 is F is equal to G m1 m2 by x square. Right? So what is the work done? Work done to move this particle from this point to a particular distance of, let it say, a dx, small dx. The amount of work done dw is nothing but force into displacement F into dx. Okay, so to calculate the total work done W is equal to integral of dw, which is equal to integral F into dx. So this work done W is equal to integral F. What is the value of F? G m1 m2 by x square into dx, where this x is from, let it say, from r1 position to r2 position. So from a position of r1 to r2. Okay, here G m1 m2 is common, so if you take it outside, W is equal to g m1 m2 integral r1 to r2 1 by x square dx. So this work done W is equal to g m1 m2 integral of 1 by r square is nothing but minus 1 by x from r1 to r2. So if you take minus common, this work done W can be written as minus g m1 m2 into, first initially we need to substitute 1 by r2 minus 1 by r1. This work done is stored as a potential energy U, which is equal to minus g m1 m2 into 1 by r2 minus 1 by r1. So here this U represents the potential energy in bringing a mass m2 from a position, from a distance r2 to r1. From a distance r2 to r1, this is the potential energy. So in bringing this mass from infinite distance to that particular position, that means if r2 is equal to infinity and r1 is equal to, r1 is equal to infinity and r2 is equal to r, from infinite to that r1 to r2. So U is equal to minus g m1 m2 by 1 by r2 is nothing but r minus 1 by infinity. So U is equal to minus g m1 m2 by r is the potential energy for the two particle system or two masses. So in this system, if initially the two bodies are at a distance of r1, then if two bodies are separated by a distance of r2, then increase in potential energy or change in potential energy is, so we need to calculate the change in potential energy. Delta U is equal to U final minus U initial. U final is minus g m1 m2 by, finally the distance will be r2, minus into minus plus g m1 m2 by r1, from which we can write it as minus g m1 m2 into 1 by r2 minus 1 by r1 is the change in potential energy. So this is the change in potential energy if the two particles are at a distance of r1 initially. Thereafter, if the distance between the two particles is changed to r2, then the change in potential energy will be like this. If the distance is increasing, potential energy is also increasing. Okay, students, now let us see the gravitational potential energy of a system for three masses. So it may be 3 or 4 masses. So let us consider a 3-dimensional space in x, y, z axis. Let it be x, y and z axis. So we need to see the points. That the first point is, as it is an empty space, there is no gravitational field acting on the system. So in bringing a mass m1 to this position, in bringing the mass m1 from infinity to this position, no work is done. So as it is there is no gravitational field, in bringing mass m1, no work is done. No work is done. Right? So now in bringing an unit mass from, say, a mass of m2 from infinity to a position which is at a distance of r12 from the mass m2, the work is done. So for second mass, for mass m2, work done will be equal to W12, which is equal to minus g m1 m2 by r12. Okay, now in bringing the third mass from infinite distance to a position of mass m3 to a position which is at a distance of R13 from the first mass and R23 from the second mass to this position, the work is done by the two masses as there are two gravitational fields. So for mass M3, the work done will be W13 plus W23. Okay, so the total work done is equal to total work done in arranging these three masses in these particular positions will be equal to, so first initially it is 0, for second one it is W12, for third one that is W13 plus W23. Right, as this is a vector, gravitational potential energy is a scalar quantity, we can add them just like a scalar numbers. So which is equal to minus G M1 M2 by R12 minus W13 is nothing but minus G M1 M3 by R13 minus G M2 M3 by R23. So total is nothing but minus G into M1 M2 by mod R12 plus M1 M3 by mod R13 plus M2 M3 by mod R23 is the total work done in bringing the three masses to that particular positions. Okay, students, now let us see the concept of escape speed. What is meant by the escape speed? The minimum velocity with which a body should be fired or projected from the surface of the planet so that it leaves it moves away from the gravitational influence of that planet is nothing but the escape speed or escape velocity. So again I repeat the statement, the minimum velocity with which a body should be projected from the surface of the planet so that the body escape from the gravitational influence of that planet is the escape velocity of that particular planet. So let us derive the equation for the escape velocity or the escape speed. Consider a planet whose mass is capital M and let it be the center of mass and the radius of the planet is R. Right. Now let us see from a height h from the surface. So from the surface let it be the height b h, the particle is projecting. We are projecting the particle. Okay, let we are projecting the particle with a velocity of v, which means the distance from the center of mass of the planet will be equal to r plus h. R plus h is the distance between the planet and the mass that to be projected. Okay, so let us see what is the energy according to law of conservation of energy. Of course we are dealing in this concept. So let us see what is the energy at this particular position. So at that particular position, if we are throwing with a velocity ve, then kinetic energy, initial kinetic energy is equal to half m v square, and the initial potential energy at that particular point is nothing but minus g capital M small m by the distance between them is r plus h. Therefore, the total energy is nothing but the potential energy plus kinetic energy. So kinetic energy plus potential energy. So total energy at initial position at that particular point is nothing but kinetic energy half m v square plus potential energy is nothing but plus into minus or minus g capital M small m by r plus h. Okay, so when we thrown this object or projected this object, it should escape from the this gravitational influence of this planet, and it should escape to the outer space. At outer space, the potential energy is zero, and the minimum velocity should it should maintain so that the kinetic energy will be also zero, which means at outer space the total energy final would be kinetic energy final plus potential energy final. The kinetic energy final will be half m v final square plus potential energy will be 0. So total energy final is equal to half m vf square. Okay, so according to law of conservation of energy, according to law of conservation of energy, total energy should remain constant. That means initial energy, which is equal to half m ve square plus, or we can write it as minus g capital M small m by r plus h, is equal to the final energy is half m vf square. Right? So to maintain the minimum velocity, this should be equal to 0. This total energy for minimum velocity, it should be project means this total energy is equal to 0. So half m v square for minimum velocity minus g capital M small m by r plus h is equal to 0. So half m v square is equal to g capital M small m by r plus h. Here m and m gets cancelled. So v square is equal to 2g capital M by r plus h, or v is equal to root over 2gm by r plus h is the velocity required for an object to be projected from a height h so that it can escape from the surface or the gravitational influence of the planet. That means it should not return back. If you throw an object with that escape velocity, it should not be returned back. So if the body is projected from the surface of the earth, if body is projected from surface of the planet, then h is equal to 0, right? Surface of the planet means h is equal to 0. Then the expression v is equal to root over 2g capital M by r. We know that relation between small g and capital G is g is equal to gm by r square, or g into capital M is nothing but gr square. So if we substitute this value in this here, escape velocity is equal to root over 2 into g r square divided by r. Here r and square gets cancelled. So v is equal to root over 2g r is the escape velocity. Expression for escape velocity from the surface of the planet is nothing but root over 2 into g into r. G is acceleration due to gravity of that planet, and r is the radius of the planet. So if we substitute for the earth, v is equal to under root 2 into g value is 9.8 meter per second square into radius of the earth is 6400 kilometers into, that is 6400 into 1000. By substituting all these values, we can get the escape velocity of the earth is approximately equal to 11.2 kilometers per second. The escape velocity of the earth is approximately equal to 11.2 kilometers per second. That means If we throw an object from the surface of the planet with a velocity 11.2 kilometers per second, then it will not return back. It escapes through the outer surface. The minimum velocity should be projected is 11.2 kilometers per second. Okay. So this is the end of this session of the video. Thank you for watching.